Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell, and today we're going to talk about something that affects so many of us as we get older, our hands. Many people feel self-conscious about their hands because the skin becomes thinner, drier, and age spots and wrinkles become more noticeable. If you're over 60 or even approaching that age, pay close attention because this simple nighttime ritual may help your hands look healthier and feel softer. As we age, the skin on the back of our hands naturally loses collagen and moisture, while circulation gradually slows. That's why the skin can begin to look crepey, rough, and spotted no matter how many creams you apply. So how do you notice it? It's simple. Your hands dry out faster, wrinkles become more visible, and small spots that were once barely noticeable suddenly stand out, even in soft lighting. This is where many people become frustrated. They use expensive creams, they take good care of themselves, yet nothing seems to change. Here's why. Many hand creams are primarily water-based. They feel soothing the moment you apply them, but the effect is often temporary. Within a short time, the moisture fades and your skin returns to feeling dry again. At this stage of life, your hands don't just need hydration, they need deep nourishment, lasting protection, and the right ingredients to support healthy, aging skin. That's exactly what I'll show you today. They need something that truly protects them, that keeps the moisture inside and prevents it from constantly being lost throughout the day. Now, there is something even more important that almost no one tells you, and this completely changes the rules. Over the years, the skin no longer regenerates the same way. Before, your body renewed cells quickly. Now that process is slower, more irregular, and that makes the skin look rougher, less even, as if it had lost that natural softness. It may even feel more fragile. And there is another factor that is often overlooked: circulation. With age, blood flow in the hands decreases a bit. It may seem like a minor detail, but it is not. Less circulation means fewer nutrients, less oxygen, and skin that takes longer to recover. That is why many people feel that nothing works for them. But here is the key. It is not that it does not work. It is that now your skin needs a different approach. It is not about using more. It is about using better. And this is where this ritual begins to make sense, because it starts with something very simple but very effective. Virgin coconut oil. Yes, something you probably already have at home. Before continuing, write the word "I will use it" in the comments if you are going to try this method starting today. Now here comes the mistake I see every day. And you may also be making it without realizing it. The way you apply it. If you put it on completely dry skin, it practically does nothing. It stays on the surface. It does not integrate. It does not work. It is as if you were trying to hydrate a completely dry sponge without wetting it first. It does not absorb the same way. And this has a very simple explanation. When the skin is dry, its outer layer is more closed, less receptive, and any product you put on top simply stays there without penetrating, without creating a real change. The correct way is very different. You should apply it when the skin is slightly damp, right after washing your hands, or even using a warm cloth a few seconds before going to bed. That small detail changes everything, because that slight moisture acts as an entry point. It allows the oil to spread better, adhere more evenly, and really start to work with just a few drops. And here I want you to pay attention. A few drops, no more. Massaged slowly, calmly. In a few days, you begin to notice the difference. The skin feels more flexible, softer, less marked. And it is not a coincidence. It is the result of doing the process correctly. And there is something that almost no one takes into account: the exact moment when you apply it. The warmth of the lukewarm water not only cleans, it also prepares the skin. It makes it more receptive, more open to absorption. It is as if you relax the surface before nourishing it. Even the simple act of not completely drying your hands, leaving a slight moisture, can make a big difference. That small gesture, which many people overlook, is what makes the difference between it working or not seeing results. And another very common mistake: using too much product. Many people think that more quantity is better, but no. The excess creates a heavy layer that does not absorb well. It stays on top. It can even create a greasy feeling without providing real benefits. In this case, less quantity but well worked is much more effective, because when you use the right amount, you allow the oil to integrate, for the skin to take advantage of it, and for the result to be much cleaner and more visible. And here comes something important. This is not a one-time trick, it is a habit. And this point is key. When you do it every night, you give your skin the opportunity to adapt, to retain hydration better, and to begin to recover little by little. It is like training a muscle. One day does not make the difference, but repetition does. And that change, even if you do not notice it in a single day, accumulates. Day after day, the skin begins to behave differently, to respond better, to stay more stable. Subscribe to the channel if this video is being helpful to you. Now let's talk about spots. Those dark spots that appear over the years and that often seem to stay forever. They are not dirt. They do not disappear on their own. They are the result of years of sun exposure, of pigment buildup that remains in the skin over time. But here is something that very few people do correctly. The oil helps, yes. But there is a way to enhance its effect, a nighttime combination with a few drops of natural lemon juice. But here you have to be very careful. This is only at night, never during the day. And I want this to be very clear to you because this is where the most mistakes are made. Lemon can make the skin more sensitive to light, and if you use it incorrectly, you could make the spots worse instead of improving them. That is why this step requires attention. And there is another key detail, the amount. You do not need much. Just a few well-mixed drops are enough. More is not better. In fact, using too much can irritate the skin and create the opposite effect of what you are looking for. And very important, avoid using it if your skin is irritated or sensitive. If there is redness, burning, or any discomfort, it is better to wait, because taking care of the skin also means knowing when to let it rest. When you do it correctly, with care and consistency, you are creating the perfect environment for the skin to renew itself. You are giving it the conditions it needs to begin correcting itself little by little. And over the days, the spots begin to soften, to fade, to look less intense. They do not disappear overnight, but they do begin to lose prominence, to blend better with the skin tone, and that already completely changes how your hands look. Recently, a patient told me something very similar. "Doctor, I feel like I do everything right at night, but during the day I go back to the same thing." And she was right. It was not that the method did not work, it was that there were small mistakes during the day that were sabotaging it. Simple things like constant washing with harsh soaps, not protecting the hands from the sun, or not clears throat, maintaining that hydration during the day, and all of that, little by little, was canceling out the progress from the night. But even if you do all of this correctly, there is a second mistake that almost no one fixes, and it has to do with the way you apply the product. Tell me in the comments your age and where you are watching me from. I want to know a little more about you. All right. Now there is something that many people do not fully understand, and this is key. It is not just the spots that age the hands. It is the texture. That wrinkled appearance, slightly loose, that makes the skin look older, even without spots. And if you stop for a moment to look at them closely, you will notice it. It is not just the color, it is how the surface looks, how it feels to the touch, how it has lost that firmness and softness it once had almost effortlessly. And here comes a second fundamental factor, the way you apply the product, because it is not just what you use, it is how you use it. This point completely changes the result. If you simply place it quickly without intention, you are losing a large part of the benefit. It is like having a good tool and not knowing how to use it. The massage changes everything. Slow movements, consistent for 1 or 2 minutes, activate circulation. And when circulation improves, the skin responds better. But it is not just about moving your hands without thinking. It is about doing it with intention, with a steady rhythm covering every area. But here's the interesting part. That massage is not only used to spread the product, it also activates internal processes that become slower with age, such as oxygenation and the transport of nutrients. In other words, you are not only working on the outside, you are also stimulating what happens on the inside. Even a gentle, steady pressure can help restore some of that vitality to the skin that seemed lost. And this is something that many people underestimate. They think the product does everything, when in reality, the way you apply it can make the difference between seeing results or not seeing them. Another important detail, the direction. Massage in an upward motion, covering well the fingers, knuckles, back of the hand without leaving any areas forgotten. Every part matters. Many times people apply only in the center of the hand and forget the edges, the joints, the spaces between the fingers. And aging also shows there. And take that minute. Do not do it quickly. Do not do it just to get it done. That extra minute is what makes the difference between applying something and actually working the skin. Even the rhythm matters. When you do it slowly, continuously, without interruptions, you help the skin relax, the product integrate better, and the effect be more complete. But now, pay very close attention, because we have reached the most important point of all. Number one, and it has nothing to do with the product. It has to do with the timing. Your skin repairs itself at night. While you sleep, your body regenerates, rebuilds. It works for you without you having to do anything else. At that moment, the skin is more receptive, more active, more willing to take advantage of what you apply to it. It is as if it enters a deep repair mode. If you do this ritual before going to sleep, you are working with your body. You are taking advantage of that natural process. If you do it at another time, you lose a large part of the effect. Not because the product does not work, but because the skin is focused on protecting itself, not on repairing. During the day, your skin is dealing with the sun, constant washing, temperature changes. It is on the defensive. That is why this is not just a remedy. It is a nighttime ritual. And here is one more detail that enhances everything: consistency. Doing it every night at the same time helps the skin adapt. It helps that moment become part of its natural process, and when that happens, the change becomes cumulative. It is not a one-day effect, it is a progressive improvement that builds over time. This is how you should do it. Apply the mixture on the back of your hands. Massage each finger, each joint without rushing, without hurry, making sure to cover the entire surface well. Let it work all night. Give your skin time to work. And in the morning, only lukewarm water, nothing else. Avoid strong soaps because they can remove part of the benefit you achieved during the night. Do this for 7 days, just 7 days, and observe. Do not expect a magical change overnight, but something much more important, a real change, progressive. Day after day, your hands begin to look different, softer, more even, younger. And most importantly, you begin to feel them differently. And when that happens, you no longer need to hide them because they begin to reflect much better how you feel inside. And before finishing, I want to give you something extra because if you made it this far, there is a way to enhance this ritual even more, and almost no one talks about this. It is not something complicated. You do not need to spend more money or look for rare products. They are small adjustments, small combinations that when used correctly can make a much bigger difference than you imagine. In fact, many times it is not that the method does not work, it is that it is missing that small detail that takes it to the next level. And when you find it, everything changes. They are small combinations that you can make with coconut oil depending on what your hands need the most right now. And here is the key. Not all hands need the same thing. Some need softness, others need to improve tone, others need to regain hydration. And when you choose the right mixture, the result becomes noticeable much faster. You can even notice how the skin responds differently in just a few days because you are giving it exactly what it is missing. Not something generic, but something specific. If your main problem is marked wrinkles, try this. Mix a teaspoon of coconut oil with a few drops of vitamin E. Vitamin E helps protect the skin and improve the appearance of fine lines. Used consistently, it enhances that effect of smoother and more flexible skin. But there is a detail that can enhance this mixture even more. Apply it with a slightly longer massage, gently insisting on the areas where the lines are more marked. That combination between the ingredient and the movement makes the result much more visible over the days. And if you want to go one step further, you can slightly warm the mixture between your hands before applying it. That small increase in temperature helps it spread better and allows the skin to receive it more easily. If what worries you the most are spots, you can make a very simple combination: coconut oil with a small amount of natural aloe vera. This mixture helps soothe the skin, improve its tone, and makes the spots look softer over time. And here is a small trick that almost no one uses. Use aloe vera as pure as possible, directly from the plant if you can, because that way you preserve its properties intact. In addition, by combining it with the oil, you create a light texture that spreads better and covers the entire skin more evenly. Another important detail is to apply it evenly over the entire hand, not just on the spots. This helps the tone look more balanced overall and prevents some areas from standing out more than others. Now, if your hands feel extremely dry, rough to the touch, there is another very effective option: coconut oil with a few drops of almond oil. This creates a more nourishing layer, deeper, ideal for skin that no longer retains hydration well. And if you want to take this one step further, you can apply this mixture and then cover your hands with cotton gloves overnight. That small gesture helps the skin absorb nutrients much better and prevents the product from being lost on the sheets. You may even notice that when you wake up, your skin feels more plump, more comfortable, less tight, as if it had regained some of that hydration it used to lose so quickly. And there is a mixture that almost no one uses, but that can make a real difference: coconut oil with a very small pinch of turmeric. Yes, turmeric. It helps improve the overall appearance of the skin. But here is something important: use it in a very small amount and always at night. In addition, it is important to mix it very well so that no concentrated residue remains in one area. And to keep in mind that its use should be moderate, because in excess it can slightly stain the skin or fabrics. When used correctly, on the other hand, it provides a very interesting effect on tone and overall appearance. An additional tip: if it is your first time using it, test it on a small area first. That way, you make sure your skin tolerates it well and avoid any unexpected reaction. If this video helped you even a little, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss these senior-focused health gems. And drop in the comments, which of these 5 are you going to try first tonight? And what results do you hope to see? I read every one. This is Dr. Alan Mandell. Stay healthy, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.